Have you ever wondered how bull leather is produced to create luxury products? Today we will learn the entire step-by-step process. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. Let's begin.
Phase 1. Obtaining the horn and preparing the raw material. The manufacturing process of bullhorn leather begins with the acquisition and preparation of the base material. Horn is a byproduct of livestock activity, so its availability depends on already established production chains. Before entering the processing plant, each horn goes through an initial selection stage where key aspects such as size, curvature, density, and the absence of visible cracks are evaluated. This inspection is not a simple formality. It determines whether the material will be able to withstand the subsequent stages of heat, pressure, and machining without cracking or deforming. Once selected, the horns undergo a deep cleaning process. In this phase, organic residues, dust, and dirt accumulated during transportation and storage are removed. This is done using high-pressure washing systems combined with neutral cleaning solutions that do not alter the structure of the material. The objective is to leave the surface free of contaminants that could affect the stability of the horn when it is later subjected to controlled heat and humidity. After cleaning, the horns are cut into more manageable sections. This initial cut is carried out with industrial saws, designed to work with hard and curved materials with precision. Operators do not cut randomly. They seek to take advantage of the most homogeneous areas of the horn, where the internal structure is more compact and regular. These areas provide better results when transformed into sheets or flat components, since they present a lower risk of internal fractures. At the same time, a classification process is carried out according to dimensions and physical characteristics. The thicker pieces are allocated to products that require greater mechanical strength, while the thinner ones are reserved for decorative components or elements subjected to lower structural loads. Organizing the material from the beginning helps optimize the industrial process, reduce waste, and ensure that each piece is used in the most appropriate context according to its natural properties. Phase 2. Stabilization and moisture control. Their eyes. Horn, being a biological material composed largely of keratin, reacts to changes in temperature and humidity in its environment. For this reason, before any shaping takes place, it must be stabilized. In this phase, the cut pieces are placed inside conditioning chambers where temperature, relative humidity, and exposure time are precisely controlled. This step aims to reduce internal stresses accumulated during the life of the animal and during the storage of the material. The stabilization process is not fast. The pieces remain in these chambers for periods determined by their thickness and density. Thicker pieces require more time so that heat and moisture can penetrate evenly throughout the entire structure. During this period, the material gradually adapts to the controlled conditions of the plant, which reduces the risk of deformation or cracking in later stages. In addition to environmental control, periodic measurements of the horn's moisture content are carried out. Sensors and portable equipment make it possible to verify that the material reaches an optimal range before moving to the softening stage. If the horn is too dry, it becomes brittle and difficult to shape. If it is too moist, it may deform excessively or lose dimensional stability once cooled. Maintaining this balance is essential to guarantee consistent results across the entire production. During this stage, pieces that show inadequate reactions to thermal conditioning are also identified. Some may display internal microcracks or color changes that indicate structural weakness. These pieces are separated for reprocessing or secondary uses, preventing them from entering critical stages where a failure could compromise the entire batch. Phase 3. Controlled softening and forming into sheets. Once stabilized, the horn must become flexible in order to be transformed into a leather-like material. To achieve this, it undergoes a controlled softening process through heat and humidity. The pieces are placed in hot water tanks or steam chambers where the temperature is maintained within a specific range. The purpose of this heat is not to melt the material but to make its internal structure flexible enough to allow shaping. During this treatment, technicians carefully monitor exposure time and temperature. Excessive heat can damage the horn structure, while insufficient heat will not provide the required flexibility. When the material reaches the appropriate condition, it is removed from the chambers and immediately transferred to forming presses. At this point, the horn is flexible, but only for a limited time, so coordination between teams is essential. Industrial presses apply progressive pressure to flatten the horn and convert it into sheets of uniform thickness. This process is not performed in a single pass. First, moderate pressure is applied. Then the material is allowed to rest, so internal stresses can be released. And finally, the pressing process is repeated until the desired thickness is reached. This step-by-step method reduces the risk of internal cracking and improves the homogeneity of the resulting material. During this phase, molds and guides are also used to control the final shape of the sheets. In this way, pieces with standardized dimensions are obtained, which simplifies the later stages of cutting and machining. The result is a flat, stable material ready to be transformed into functional or decorative components depending on the intended final product. Phase 4. Cooling, drying, and shape fixation. After forming, the horn sheets still retain heat and residual moisture. In order for them to maintain their shape and regain rigidity, they must undergo a controlled cooling and drying process. This stage takes place in chambers with regulated environmental conditions, where temperature gradually decreases and humidity is reduced evenly. The objective is to avoid thermal shocks that could generate internal stress or unwanted deformation. The sheets are placed on frames or racks that hold their shape during drying. These supports prevent the material from bending or warping as it loses moisture. Depending on the thickness of each sheet, drying time may vary from several hours to several days. Thicker pieces require longer processes to ensure that moisture is removed uniformly throughout the entire structure. During this period, periodic inspections are conducted to detect possible defects. Irregular color changes, surface waviness, or microcracks are checked, as these may indicate issues in the forming process or in environmental control. Pieces that do not meet quality standards are removed from the main production flow and sent for adjustments or reprocessing. By the end of this phase, the material already presents a rigid, stable structure with its shape fully fixed. This condition is essential to ensure that subsequent cutting and machining operations can be performed with precision without the material deforming under the action of tools or machines. Phase 5. Cutting, machining, and dimensional adjustment. With the sheets stabilized, the stage of transforming them into pieces with defined geometry begins. In this phase, high-precision cutting equipment is used, such as CNC machines or stamping systems that can reproduce complex shapes with very tight tolerances. This level of precision is essential when the pieces must fit with other components in final products, such as knife handles, tool grips, or decorative elements that require exact fitting. Machining is not limited to perimeter cutting. In many cases, drilling, grooves, or recesses are created to allow later assembly with metal parts, screws, or industrial fastening systems. Each operation is programmed according to the design of the final product, ensuring that all units produced within the same batch maintain consistent dimensions. During machining, fine dust and material residues are generated. To maintain a safe working environment and avoid contamination of surfaces, industrial extraction systems are used to continuously collect these residues. Part of this residual material can be recovered for secondary uses, such as fillers or composite materials, contributing to improved production efficiency and reduced waste. After machining, the pieces undergo dimensional verification. Calipers and measurement equipment are used to confirm that the dimensions meet the design specifications. Any deviation outside tolerance is corrected or discarded, ensuring that only parts meeting the required standards proceed to the finishing stage. Phase 6. Polishing, treatment, and material protection. Once the pieces have their final shape, surface finishing begins. In this phase, the goal is to transform a technical surface into one that is pleasant to the touch and visually appealing. The process begins with progressive sanding using abrasives of different grits. It starts with coarser grits to remove machining marks and progresses to finer grits to smooth the surface. After sanding, polishing is carried out using wheels and special compounds that enhance the natural shine of the horn. This step not only improves the appearance of the material but also reduces surface porosity, contributing to greater resistance to wear and moisture absorption. Each piece is polished evenly to ensure a consistent finish across the entire batch. In many cases, protective surface treatments are applied. These treatments may include oils, waxes, or transparent coatings designed to seal the surface without altering the natural appearance of the material. The objective is to protect the pieces from contact with moisture, skin oils, and continuous use. These treatments also help maintain the material's shine and texture for a longer period, improving the durability of the final product. During this phase, operators carry out constant visual inspections. They look for imperfections, scratches, or poorly polished areas. Any defect is corrected before the piece moves to the next stage. Minus, this continuous control is essential to guarantee a high standard of quality in products that are often destined for high-value markets. Phase 7. Quality control, assembly preparation, and standardization. In the final phase of the manufacturing process, each piece goes through a final quality control inspection. This review combines visual inspection, dimensional verification, and examination of the surface integrity of the material. It ensures that there are no cracks, deformations, unwanted stains, or irregularities that could affect the performance or appearance of the final product. In addition to individual inspection, batch sampling is carried out to verify process consistency. Several pieces are compared with each other to ensure they maintain the same thickness, the same level of finishing, and the same structural behavior. This standardization is essential to guarantee that the material can be integrated smoothly into later assembly lines or into manufacturing processes carried out by third parties. At this stage of the process, the finished pieces undergo preparation before being integrated into final products or later assembly lines. First, a careful cleaning is carried out to remove dust residues, abrasive particles, and polishing compound remnants that may remain adhered to the surface. This cleaning is performed using filtered air, special cloths, and in some cases, mild solutions that do not alter the material's finish. The objective is to ensure that the surfaces are completely clean to prevent visible defects or adhesion problems in later stages. Once cleaned, the pieces are organized according to their model, dimensions, or function within the final product. This classification ensures that each component reaches the correct assembly point in an orderly and timely manner, reducing handling errors. In addition, batch organization facilitates process traceability and quality control in later stages. After classification, the pieces are conditioned for temporary storage or internal transport within the plant. For this purpose, they are placed in trays or containers that prevent direct contact between surfaces, reducing the risk of friction or marks during handling. Depending on storage conditions, temporary protections such as separators or light protective coatings may be applied, with the purpose of preventing scratches and preserving the surface finish until the moment of final assembly. With this final control, the manufacturing process of bullhorn leather is ready for the pieces to enter assembly chains or subsequent industrial processes, ensuring that each component preserves the mechanical, aesthetic, and durability properties required for its intended use.
What did you think about this process? Leave it in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video.